video cut out, but just doing the final rubbing, buffing out. And looking good. And tomorrow we'll probably glue the fingerboard on, get ready to fit the pegs and stuff. Alright, we're doing the final finish work on this cello. I've already done the top and one of the sides. Start with 3 different grits, 400 and then 600 and 1500. Wet dry sandpaper. I've already done the other 2. This is the 1500. Graphite wet dry sandpaper. Get it nice and smooth. Of course, you have to do it by hand. You can try using a electric or air-powered sander, but it doesn't work that well because the instrument is not flat. Everything's curved. So you have to do it by hand. Been working on it all day, doing the top and the side. Yeah, that should be pretty good. Get rid of that stuff there. And the final step, to polish it with rotten stone. Rotten stone. Ancient technique. Sometimes people will start with pumice first, because the pumice is a little grittier, but I found you can just go right to rotten stone. And add a little water to that. Get a nice muddy consistency. And if you do this right, sometimes you got to do it a couple times. Yeah, getting ready to glue the fingerboard on. We've got all the rubbing out, polishing done. This is dry clamp, so we know we got all the correct clamps set. And the fingerboard fits. And you'll see that the nut was glued onto this. It was just spot glued, just a little bit here and there when we got it in. So we took that off to work on it, get it finished. And while we had it off, we marked the nut. Of course, we had to cut it down. It was a big chunk. We cut that down, buffed it out, and made the 5 grooves for the 5 strings. Just to start. We don't have them finished because we want to get the strings on. We also put a ridge line on there. The customer wanted to, instead of being perfectly round, some fingerboards have that ridge line on the low C, or in this case the F. So that's done, ready to go. Our hot glue is hot, but the glue and cleanup process takes a while, so we won't record that, but we'll show you the results. Alright, we got the tail piece with one fine tuner and the tail gut ready to go. Working on the pegs and the peg head. Got this one peg turned down. So it's nice and well tapered all the way up to the collar. You can see where it's a little out of round, but they still won't fit through those holes. So we got a drill bit big enough to get the reamer in there. Again, you got to make sure the reamer and the shaper are the same. So now we can drill these out. See, they're still going to have to be reamed further. And we go from both sides. It keeps the wood from chipping out. There we go. And then you got, of course, remember which side is which. Your lowest string, that's going to go from the other, so this is going to be your A right here. Okay, we're done with these blocks here. Okay, we'll get our one that's ready to go here. We probably want to go smaller with this here, just so the hole is not too big. So we'll go down to the medium. For large and for medium, we have a couple that go a little bit bigger and a couple that go a little smaller as well. I'll have to get my tool there. It's easier to hold on to the peg. Oh, not quite big enough for that. Let's see if we got another one that's bigger. Nope. Guess we'll have to use the old hand method. At least the blades are nice and sharp. But it's better to keep the hole in the peg box smaller, because over time it gets larger from the pressure of the pegs, which weakens it. Alright, we're getting closer. Yeah, once we get all the way up to the collar on this one, then we will ream that out to fit. Yeah, getting smaller. But see, you get stuck up there, so sometimes you have to go back to the larger size and cut some of that off. Well, it takes strong hands, a lot of time. Which at the factory they do this on the lathe, but after they're made, as the wood dries, it goes out around because the grain pattern shrinks one way more than the other. Gotta be careful not to mess up the collar. On these last couple, we'll cut off a little at the end there to make it easier. But since these are going to go in most of the way, you want to leave it out about 5/8. Yeah, maybe 3/4. We'll go 3/4. Gives it more room to move inside when the wood shrinks and the hole gets bigger. Yeah, a lot of times these are oversized, so they will fit cellos that have been around for a while and their holes have gotten bigger. Yeah, that last little bit is a little hard to get to because you gotta cut in the whole length there. See if we go to 3/4. Yeah, we could cut a little bit off, but not gonna make much difference. So, oops. getting close to the collar. Yeah, do about one of these, one or two at a time, then I got to take a break and rest my hand. It's worn out. Yeah, turn the light on here so I can see a little better. Yeah, a little bit left. Yeah, nice and clean all the way up to the collar. There, now we can fit this one peg, ream this out to the right length. You always want to go backwards the last few twists, make it nice and smooth. Oh yeah, it's just about perfect. Yeah, 3/4, yeah. So now, we'll mark that with a piece of tape. Anytime you're making a whole new set, you want them all to be exactly the same. There, now we know to make all the other holes the same. Yeah. 3/4, that's good. So this one will come from this side. Of course, then you skip one, and they go to this one. Your D peg. So it'll be A, D, G, C, F. Yeah, we got a lot of reaming to do, a lot of reaming and shaping. You see now this one, three-quarter, we'll be able to cut a little bit off of that, make it less hard to should say easier to shape. See now that it's a little shorter, you know, not have to shape that last part. So it makes this part a little bit easier. Still a lot of work though. Okay, large one worked good. Medium, long way to go. So, no sense in recording all the rest of that. We'll show you when it's done, and then we'll paint the inside of this black, a traditional method of sealing that up, and we'll be good to go. Thanks for watching. Okay, we're getting ready to fit the bridge here. First thing we do is mark the curvature at the top, and the height of the fingerboard. It's a general outline. You notice the bridge is a very nice quality. It's actually 20-year-old. Circa 2005 sour or cower $100 bridge. They have very tight grain on this side and very tight grain on this side going longitudinally. So that's what we put in the front. I don't recall if we videotaped the shaping of the fingerboard, but we had to put an edge on it. The fellow wanted it beveled there, so we did that. And we went over it with the sandpaper to make it nice and flat. We put a little bit of a scoop in there. We may have to adjust that after we get the strings on. We'll test it and see if, make sure it's got the right amount of scooping, that there's no divots here and there. Get it nice and smooth. We also have a curved one that we used. For the final stage, we used nice and flat sanding disc. Clear all that sawdust off of there. And then we'll oil that up. Got a pre-oiled rag. And mineral oil works fine. You can also use almond oil, other different kind of nut oils. I usually use mineral oil though. Easily available and doesn't dry out. Okay, fingerboard's looking good. Now we'll proceed to cut the bridge. This will take now a couple hours, so. But you can see the arch of the top. That pencil line is not different than the blank, and of course the feet are way too thick. So we'll get going on that and show you how it comes out. Just about ready to string her up. Okay, we're making a new sound post for this cello. The 5-string Phillips cello. First thing we do, we cut the angle on the bottom. Stick it through here. Just test straight up and down. The F-hole. And we'll mark it. Get the angle. Trim that off. We'll get it close, and then we'll cut the angle on the saw. Mark which way is up and which way is down. We want this to be the top. And we want the grain to be 90 degrees from the plane going that way, so the sound post grain goes this way. Requires a couple of settings to get it just right. And oops. Let's see, we should be recording on the interior one too. Okay. See, we have a camera going in through the end pin. inside and outside view. Oh, it's a tight fit. Get our grabber tool. Gotta have some lighting there. Now, if we measured correctly, this should be just about right. And we can adjust it with this. Spin a little bit there. Put back a little bit here. It was close, but not perfect. We'll try it again one more time here. Didn't make it too short. And we can see with the camera that it's pretty straight, but the top doesn't fit quite right. So we'll get our mirror, check and see fit it in. Looks like it fits pretty good there. Oh, the bottom angle is off though. That's not straight up and down either. So we'll try and adjust that and move the top. Oh, there she goes. Angle needs to be steeper, but we will see. Okay, the top fits good. At the bottom angle is way off. Needs to be much steeper. And as you can see on the picture, on the inside, it's not straight. So we'll try and move the back, the top back, and the bottom in a little. That's straighter, but keeps falling over. So we'll have to recut this, and we'll try again. As you can see, it's a tedious process, time-consuming to get it just right. Alright, we'll give this one more try here. We'll recut the angles. looks pretty good. And we'll measure distance to the center here. It's right about there, which should be right behind the foot. We'll have to fit the bridge to make sure it's just right. Check with the mirror, see that this side fits properly. Yep, that side's good. Just right. Yep. Yep, straight up and down. Okay, success. Now we'll go fit the bridge. Alright, we just finished stringing up this old 5-string, brand new 5-string cello. Oh, it's got a big sound. This one here. Finished making sure these were properly measured so they're equal spaced. Same with the bridge. Pretty close to pitch here. We had to lengthen the tail gut because this tail piece is goofy, and the string would, the low F, barely made it over the nut there with the winding. The bridge is slightly in front of the F-hole notches due to the fact that actually the back is right about right with the lined up with the notches. So you get your 27-inch string length. We'll try and see what it sounds like. Oh, big deep F. Huge low F there. Wow, big sound. Of course, it'll sound better the more it's played. And there you have it. Let's check the pizzicato out. Yeah, very nice. Finally completed. Thanks for watching.